Welcome back to day one at Citrix with StarLink Pulse, where we continue to have more conversation with inspiring leaders of our industry. So our very next guest for today is Mr. El-Khayat, the Regional Director at Citrix for Middle East and North Africa region. So hello Taj, how are you?
Hello Sidra, very good.
How's it going so far at Citrix?
It's exciting, coming into the halls, seeing all this buzz, seeing the traffic, seeing all these people queued. It's really amazing to see that we're back in action.
Right. So Taj, recently we have seen that in the next Forrester wave, Citrix has been named as the leader among the top 15 Zero Trust network access providers, right? Indeed, a great achievement. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And how does Citrix, manage to achieve this position?
Well, look, for the last 30 years, our main mission was to actually secure access for those employees and users to their access to their applications and data. So from our perspective, when the ZTNA strategy or thought process or framework came to life, we as Citrix have always been around security by design, ensuring that users are accessing their applications and data securely, reliably, and more importantly from any location, so nothing really holds down that user.
Sure.
But one of the cool things about our technology is that we continuously evolve the way we actually address security. So Zero Trust is about trusting nobody at day zero. So from our perspective, the fact that we can consolidate our single sign-on to all applications, sanctioned and unsanctioned, the way that we can actually allow employees and users of any type to be able to access their very critical, sensitive, mission-critical applications from anywhere without having all this overburdened security layers makes us pretty much pioneering in that space, considering that this is how we started our journey and now we're evolving around that.
Right. Well, they say that fast actions are necessary for the vendors to evolve in front of their competitors, right? And we have seen that coming from Citrix, especially when they help the client with rapidly accelerating their business continuity plan. So how does Citrix manage to do this?
Look, the pandemic has created a lot of stress, not just on our customers, but on our partners, and frankly, on us as Citrix employees, trying to gear up very quickly to be able to support our customers. So what made us stand out, I believe, is number one, we took care of our own first and very quickly so that we can make them safe, so that we can start focusing on our customers. The second thing we've done is we were able to announce rapidly business continuity programs that allowed organizations to procure and add new user licenses for those influx of people that actually started working from home in a very aggressive manner in order for us to make sure that we don't deplete their budgets as well. So we were there for them from an economical standpoint. We also came up with a lot of guides and white papers that allows organizations to rapidly deploy business continuity strategies. Business continuity, if you don't have it, it's going to take you a long time for you to build it. So we tried to narrow that time gap. In fact, we've had several of our organizations of customers who actually were able to deploy complete business continuity for thousands and tens of thousands of users in less than 2 weeks. So that was phenomenal for us, and we were very glad and proud to be able to be there with our customers. What's also important for us is how our partners acted with us. Our partners actually deployed resources without expecting anything, honestly, in return, to make sure that we are hand-holding the process with some of our customers who maybe did not have the resources to manage that type of crisis. We were able, together with our partner resources, to really surround those customers and help them navigate through those uncertainties and apply the right measures in order for them to position their business continuity very, very rapidly as well. So partners played a major role. And I think for us now, as we look forward, with all the rapid decisions that were made, now what we're going back to our customers with is the ability to let them re-strategize and build on that foundation that was built in 2020 and get them to start now thinking more strategically about hybrid work. They've already seen it, it works. Now they need to make sure that the infrastructure is reliable, secure, and efficient to be able to take that hybrid work model moving forward.
Taj, as per Gartner, it's very important that the organizations comply to the SASE framework. So where do you see Citrix addressing that?
Look, SASE is a framework, as you rightly mentioned, and it's a framework that has been introduced by Gartner. Look, the pandemic have helped us shift, the way we think about bringing data and applications to users. everything is happening on the edge now. The user is the edge. So how do we make sure that we are able to provide data and applications and services to the user without compromising the end user or employee experience? For us, it's all about converging between networking and security. So at the edge, leveraging software-defined WAN to be able to bring in those services, that's very critical. And you need to have a very robust software-defined WAN technology that merges between the networking and the security protocols. Another important aspect is the ability to drive unified management. So from our perspective, given that our digital workspace is all about unification, all about providing single sign-on for sanctioned and unsanctioned applications, the ability to provide secure access from day one or day zero, all of that is basically the element that allows us to get those user access using the edge services to be able to access all these information reliably, because the network will now become much more smoother. There will be no network bottlenecks. We'll be able to always apply our digital workspace security to be able to drive the user access and the user control. But more importantly, is simplicity of management. I mean, today when you have more and more users outside of your perimeter or on your perimeter outside of your core, corporate network, that's a very, very complicated thing to manage. So SASE allows you to bring all that back in a very centralized manner using the power of cloud. And today, cloud is using our control plane. It's the brain that orchestrates all the different policies to ensure that security and delivery of applications, as well as the whole user experience, is all happening and intact in terms of the way that the policies are being measured. And the visibility aspect of it. Today, SASE is also not only about doing things, but also making sure that the visibility and the monitoring is happening at real time, and it actually predicts any potential challenges so that centrally, the central command center and the control plane that is managing all of that be able to take actions very quickly. So definitely it's something that we see now becoming more and more important than anything before. And we are there to support our customers, converging our technology and our platform to serve that SASE framework.
That's wonderful, wonderful knowing that, Taj. So, I have seen that recently Citrix has come up with a new product, Citrix Secure Private Access, right? So tell us more about that. How do you see helping the organizations?
Secure Private Access, in simple terms, is to make sure that we empower employees to bring their own anything. Whether they want to bring in their own device, some people are actually being even more innovative, where they want to bring their own IoT devices to basically be able to connect and do certain things. From our perspective, secure private access is the ability for us to remove the unnecessary burden and complexity of management layers. Today, if you want your users to access your corporate applications, i.e. your sanctioned applications, you're going to have to go through a lot of security procedures and policies, and that hinders end user experience. Secure Private Access provides you the ability to have a VPN-less solution that allows your user to access sanctions applications just like you are accessing unsanctioned applications through your own private access, which is completely driven through specific identity control measures that allows you to access your application depending on your user profile, unnecessarily going through all the different complexity of all these different policies. So it allows you to make your user really have the freedom, to navigate in a secure manner throughout your corporate network and access their applications without compromise.
I'm certain this is going to add a lot of value to our customers.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, VPN is all technology now. So this is one of our ways to actually make it simplified by creating those VPN-less solution offerings that we have right now.
Now, off from work, right? Let's talk about something regarding the leadership. Well, I keep seeing your profile on LinkedIn, and I have seen you speak a lot about diversity, inclusion, which really creates inquisitivity in me, right? I've seen you share a lot about even food, so which is great. So how do you see developing your personal character aside the professional one? How important is it to you?
Look, I always say this. The success of any leader is people, right? At the end of the day, people can be your family, your spouse, your kids, your parents. People could be your team, could be your peers, could be your partners, could be your customers. It's all about people. People make other people successful. That's like my bottom line, frankly, in terms of why I take a lot of care on human capital in general. But for me, food, to kind of bring everything together, food is all about lowering your guard, enjoying a new culture, taking yourself at ease when you're having a conversation
Indeed.
with anybody around, a good meal, something that is very, it could be something that comes from your country, it could be something you're learning with that other person, but it's a mechanism for me to be able to connect. And I'm a foodie because I love to cook, I love to experience new cuisines, I love to even meet new people over a good piece of meal.
Likewise,
so for me, it's the foundation of connecting minds, connecting cultures, and always lowering your guards and having a very enjoyable conversation. But in terms of leadership, you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. There's always this thin line of not being, in my humble opinion, not being too nice. You got to have a very balanced approach because in leadership, sometimes you have to make very tough decisions. So how do you balance yourself in making sure that the decision you're about to make, will not be creating any unnecessary hindrance to that event or situation or person you're about to make a decision on or for, right? So that balance is very important. So leadership has to have the right balance of assertiveness, but also to be kind and be humble and be human and all this kind of stuff. That's important. The other area is trust and integrity. You have to always carry yourself with the highest degree of integrity and trust. A leader that has any question marks around these different areas, it'd be very difficult to lead a team and to lead a team towards a specific direction. So I think those two come hand in hand. You can't, have low integrity, but still expect people to trust you, and vice versa. These two come hand in hand. I think these are very important elements of that. Regarding diversity and inclusion, we're in a world right now that traditional thinking is not going to stay there for long, right? It's changing rapidly.
Definitely.
And I think being diverse and having an inclusive mindset allows you to bring in inputs and feedback from different areas that can actually complete a picture that no matter how many traditional way of thinking you apply, you may not get to the right answer. But having diverse background of thinking, of people, of culture, of backgrounds, you'll get to see things from different perspectives. And frankly speaking, 9 out of 10 times, when you bring those type of diverse thoughts into a process or a project or even a discussion, it does open up your eyes into things that you probably would not have thought about. So I think for me, a leader has to be very open-minded, have to accept feedback or ideas that are not his, has to also seek to understand. I think those are very important aspects because again, if you see the human nature of how we go after things, if we do not reflect well on them, we end up making some bad decisions. So the leader has to also make sure that he seeks to understand, to make sure that you have that balance and you get people to really appreciate the ability to understand that, look, your leader will maybe making decisions based on input, not on the basis of making decisions just because he's the leader. So there has to be that kind of back and forth discussion between the team members. No matter what background they come in, everybody can bring in value, in my opinion. And I've seen it in my career. I've been able to work with diverse backgrounds of people who were in different industries, who came and joined one of my previous jobs and did extremely well. I had people who never thought that they could be sales managers and they were able to become people managers. I've had people, and ladies actually, women, who thought that they were privileged because of the fact they are women. And I have many examples where those ladies have been able to really
move to the next level,
just move to the next level with dignity, with focus, with respect. And my job as a leader is to continue building on that diversity and inclusion. By the way, it's not just about the women aspect, it's about any diverse background, anything that looks different. We need to embrace it because it only makes us better as communities, as a workforce, as people.
Definitely,
I think it's something extremely important.
Insightful part of the conversation that I've had, and probably I'll catch you offline to discuss more in details,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So any final comments that you would like to add?
Look, I cannot be on a StarLink stand and not thank StarLink for their amazing efforts with Citrix over the past, since I've joined the company for the last 4 years. I take a lot of pride in this partnership. I believe in their leadership. I believe in their team and talent. I think we were able to navigate a lot of challenging times over the last 19 months. I look forward for a fantastic closer of the year, and I want to thank you for the opportunity for this discussion.
Thank you so
And-
much, likewise, and it's really our pleasure to have you here today, and thank you so much for sharing such an insightful
Thank you, done a
conversation
great job.
with
Thank you
us.
very much.
Thank you, El-Khayat, the MENA Regional Director at Citrix. So stay tuned for more conversation right after a short break.